these are our governors. Even the way they speak, they don't betray the emotion, the value they assign to labor as a factor of production is very low. And I'm saying this state that with miserable IGR, they have double pay for their former governors. They pay also for houses. They are building the houses for ex-governors that they don't need them. They employ, they have a of funny political officers that they are still making safari trips, pilgrims to God knows where. So what I'm saying, I think we should. That's why I'm returning to, those are details we may not be able to discuss, but what does the Constitution say? They took the oath of office.
Let me ask you this.
And the primary the government is that
I know that
welfare. State that are paying.
This is a matter that everybody will want to see a solution. Even if you ask those who haven't paid, they will say, oh, we'd like to pay. But beyond that, you have your members, you guys, you brainstorm. I imagine you talk about all of these challenges, how do we sort them out? But if the federal government doesn't release these funds to the states, people will accuse the federal government of all sorts of things. Now they release, some states still owe pensioners. What would you consider as solutions to this?
No, I think the solutions are already coming, as far as I'm concerned. Part of it is that we need to discuss them. We need to make them transparent. No more hiding places now. We have the figures and numbers. I listened to Akorede very well. Kwara, that's the point he didn't raise. He said 1 billion naira for the local government, which is quite good, and I commend them for thinking outside the box. Before initially they used to say local government autonomy doesn't concern them. And I used to tell my very good brother, the Excellency of Kwara, said that this local government, are they from Ghana? They are your local government. When you see them, they vote for you. They are the people who put them in pay. So when you say they don't pay, this autonomy doesn't mean autonomy to commit crime, not to pay. So, but I'm happy is, but what is 1 billion naira compared to what they collected? They have 5 billion naira on this Paris Club. That money should be, 70% of it cannot be 1 billion. And I think the same thing should be across the line. So what we are doing is that let's let the issue be on public domain, and we're in a democracy now, and I want to commend federal government for releasing the figures. We have the idea now. Now, it's meant for all of us to make sure the spirit of the agreement means that 70% of this should go to pay the areas, and we should all march towards it. And I think we, the labor, to have to do more than ever before, because there are sector unions, there are state unions. It's unthinkable in the private sector to say you don't want to pay workers for whatever reasons. Once you're in business, working man has to go to work, he has to pay rent, she has to buy food for the children. What are we saying? You don't pay a worker for 11 months. Do you know what has not been reported? Many children have been withdrawn out of schools. Some are dying. Their parents are dying. They couldn't pay the basic head bills in a country without social, insurance. There's no health insurance in two sides of the world. So those are the issues. And above all, the state will remain backward when you don't have working men who are properly paid. Let me tell you, with our current frustration in Nigeria, we don't tend to have sense of history. This country worked before. With apology to Chino Achebe, there was once a country in which salaries were paid as and when due, in which parents, workers could send their children to school. My mother was a cook in a secondary school, and I went to school based on her pay. Paid on time, regularly. She could pay my school fees, she could give me some allowances. So we need to return to dignity of labor, and that's the spirit of the Constitution. So you cannot even fight corruption with poorly paid workers. Which whistle can we blow when somebody can pay for our whistle because we are not properly paid?
Part of why I was asking what the solutions can be is because labor has been there for a while. Labor can't just keep protesting and not getting the kind of results that they want. Sometimes fatigue will set in at some point, and that's why I'm thinking. What more can labor do?
No, what we can do first is what we're already doing. We need to do massive more engagement. As a matter of fact, NSA has a standing policy that any employer, and that's the point I'm raising. You see, some of our governors do not read their constitution. They don't even know their sense of responsibility. They are not just employers to pay workers. They are to enforce the labor law. So all the non-state workers, I'm talking of private sector workers in their states, they should also make sure they are paid properly as I went due. Now, what moral authority can you tell a Chinese company, India company, or private employers who are viciously for exploitation where they can't pay, where you yourself have not paid? So I think we need to engage them. We need to continue the pressure as they are doing already. I'm happy some pensioners are coming out to demonstrate on that. But above all, we're not helpless in a democracy.
In
fact, the next election will be determined at all levels, based on who pays workers as and when due.
What do you have to say about, since you've mentioned that state governors have to pay, and then looking at the private sector angle to it, what about the issue of casual workers? What is NLC doing about that?
Yeah, that's a very, very good point, and that's the point I'm raising, that Nigeria labor laws. I listen to all your debates, and you do a very good job, to bring to the fore the issue of governance. But you see, with our frustration, go and read 1999 Constitution, and look at our labor laws. Nigerians have relatively progressive constitution, and labor laws. Our law says a worker who wants to employ should be automatically given letter of appointment, indicate when you'll be paid, the terms of pay, hours of work. We're also members of International Labour Organization, that thou shall work for only 8 hours. After 8 hours, the rest will be calculated, will be seen as overtime. You have the right to maternity as a woman, because we need further workforce. Women have to have the right to pregnancy. Now, I'm saying this point because some other countries developing, they don't have that kind of protection in place. Thailand and the rest of them. Then, after 3 months, you can have probation, you should be formalized to have employment. So our labor laws are clear. Now, the point is that Ministry of Labour have to enforce it, and unions are fighting against precarious work. Now, but it's so sad that as we are doing that, we now even make payment of salary precarious. We've casualized pay. I was shocked to hear some stories in some states in which you prorate payment of workers, 40%, 80%. And they have, Kugi, Kwara, they have that kind of it's illegal, it's unconstitutional, it's criminal. Don't delay payment of salaries, wage theft. ILO standards are clear.
You said the next election will be determined by, you would like it to be determined by some of these factors.
Oh, yeah.
But would you be fair to say that Labour had the chance and they blew it with Labour Party?
No, there are many chances we blow. It's not just, it's just so, I've told you that. In fact,
why do you keep blowing those chances?
No, wait. First, we need to also do self-critical analysis. I'm saying that even on the issue of labor issue, the basic problem that we have on this issue of crisis of compensation is that we are not on duty the way we should be as organized labor. I'm serious. Because everybody talk of marginalization along regional line. What we are seeing now is that there's social marginalization. Workers are on the margins, not paid on time, poorly paid. We're not talking of new pay. What pay? They are not paying on time. So labor must sit up. Now, that now comes to the issue of Labour Party. We had the vision of setting up our party. And I think it's important that we need to reinvent that party and learn from what you have done in the past that it wasn't working very well, and build on it. But what I'm saying is that
give the people
subsequent elections should be issue-driven.
Yeah.
Light, water, good pay, who respect dignity of labor, who pays as and when due, and not just for candidates, but even for the parties. No parties will be relevant if you don't give guarantee that you pay workers as and when due.
Well, anchor at that point, Comrade Isa Aremu is NEC member of Nigeria Labour Congress and also a member of National Institute of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this morning.
It's a pleasure, Chamberlain.
We'll be back in a moment and have another matter on the burner today. Don't go away.